Hey everybody, welcome back to the couch for episode 17. It's going to be a weird one. Just right off the top, I'm filming this on Monday, November 2nd, as I do. I always film these on Mondays, and then I spend Monday afternoon editing it and putting it together, and then it takes most of the night to upload because they're pretty big. And then they come out on Wednesday. And normally that's fine, because normally not much goes down on a Tuesday. How dated can one thing look after just a full day? But as some of you may know, being that today is Monday, tomorrow is November 3rd, and we're going to have us an election. And then who knows? These are uncertain times, and I know a lot of people are feeling very on edge. I certainly have my moments where I'm one of those people. For me, it's the tension, the constant tension, and the unknown, and the lack of a timetable. I'm hearing people guess that we might not actually get the results of this election. Some people are saying next year sometime. People are saying January, February. Some people are saying, if the right states go the right way, we might know something on Tuesday. I don't know. I do know that no matter which direction it goes, there'll be work to do. And some of that work is going to be within ourselves. And it's going to be about just trying to find our place in all that and what that means. And for now, I don't know, and I don't think it would behoove any of us for me to speculate on what's going to happen or how it's going to go. And for a moment, I considered not doing the podcast today, which would mean not doing it at all this week, because like I said, I can't do it on like Wednesday and have it out on Wednesday. It just doesn't work that way. But then I started to think about like what the podcast is, why it exists, and what it seems to provide for the people that are involved. And I didn't set out to do a podcast that was about any one thing, and I didn't set out to help anybody. But I started getting messages from people, and it seems to me that if we were going to say that the podcast is about something, we might say that it's about trying to figure out what we're doing and how to do it and why to do it. And I think it's hopefully it's an interesting conversation about things that are hard to explain. But hopefully if you've been watching for 17 weeks now, you know exactly what I'm trying to explain. And that was when I realized that the idea of shooting a podcast before an election and then releasing it after the election is kind of perfect for this podcast. Because the reality is, what will be will be. I hope you've all done some work to try to exercise your will over that, for sure. I have made no secret of the fact that I think you guys should vote, and I hope you vote a certain way. But at a certain point, it leaves our control, if it was ever there to begin with. And then what are we left with? We're left kind of sitting on the couch, holding the guitar, sitting in front of a cup of coffee, wondering what to say to people that sometimes think you know what to say. And here's what I came up with. I am not a ballet dancer. As you can probably tell, I don't have the toes for it. But I heard once that when you're a ballet dancer, or even like a figure skater, which again, I am also not, I heard that the way to get through those spins is to pick a focal point on the wall in front of you and just keep hitting it with your eyes every time you come around. And as I was thinking about that, and the music I'm going to recommend today, and the music I'm going to play today, I realized that's kind of what's been on my mind. It's just like the hope that everybody has their spot on the wall. And for me, that spot is my wife and son. But to another degree, that spot is doing this podcast and playing these songs. And for some of you, maybe that spot is this podcast. Maybe some of you, I've gotten enough messages from people to know that it's not out of the question that some people might wake up on Wednesday in a world that is topsy-turvy, and they might kind of rush here, which is a strange position to be in. But it's one I'm thankful for. And, if at the end of the day, my role in the world is to try to be a good husband and a good father, and to make things that mean something to a very small number of people, I think that would be okay. That would be something I could be proud of when this all, wraps up. So that's my encouragement to you. Not to remove yourself from the world, not to shelter yourself from information, not to not make an effort to shape the world into a better thing, but to keep your balance while you're doing that. Because those other things won't be any good if you're not solid, if we're not solid. And sometimes solid means taking a minute to take care of yourself, and I think that's okay. And sometimes it just means fending off panic attacks by saying, okay, when I wake up tomorrow, what's still going to be real and true? No matter what happens tonight, what's still, And that's why I'm doing a podcast that might not make any sense, I know most people that watch this are liberal Democrat people, as am I. And if Joe Biden wins tomorrow, this podcast will be meaningless. But if he loses, it might mean a lot. Or it might be even more meaningless, who knows? And I also know that there are some conservative Republican folks watching this, and I'm glad. I don't exist to tell other people how to live their lives. But when I see people say, like, if you think this, get out of here, unfriend me on Facebook or something. I don't have that impulse. I have the impulse of, if you think this, come here. Come closer. I want to talk to you. Because I want to understand why you think it. And truth be told, I make no secret of it. I want to talk you out of it. And I've had the good fortune of getting to do that. I know for a fact that through conversations with people, I've changed their minds about a few issues. And we've also found sometimes you just end up changing someone's mind about who you are. I talk to people that think whatever they think about me or the left or liberals or whatever. And we talk and they realize, like, oh, even if it's different, it's not so different. Unless you're a monster. And I've talked to monsters. But the point is, if you're here, if you're watching this, I'm glad. And I hope I'm able to put something into it that makes it worth your time. And maybe brings you some comfort or some security or if nothing else, I hope I point you to something that will. So, having said that, I also want to thank you guys for watching, and not just watching, but for the support through the whole COVID era. I had reason to look back at the books for like a tax thing, and I realized that it's going to be a different year, and I think it will be noticeable that COVID happened. But I was not devastated by what happened this year, career-wise, at least. And that's because of you guys. It's because people donate to the podcast. It's because they bought my book. It's because they download my music on Bandcamp. And that just means a ton to me. And I try really hard to not ever let too much time go by without thanking the people out there for being out there. I appreciate it. This is something I'd be doing anyways, and it's such a gift to be able to do it sort of unimpeded by thoughts of a day job or what have you. And also with COVID and our son being home all day, schooling from home, because of my job, I've been able to be here with him the whole time and you know, make his lunches and help him out with school and that kind of thing. And that's a gift too. So thank you all very much for the support. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to keep making things that hopefully you'll keep liking, and we can keep this whole thing going. I have a list of other stuff we could talk about, but I was thinking maybe I'll just play you a song, and we'll see how that feels. This song is not it's not a song that I play a lot, and possibly because of that, it's not a very like known song or requested song. But it is a song that I love, and it's a song that that I've gotten messages about, that the song means something to some people, and especially during COVID, I've gotten those messages. I feel very fortunate to be friends with some people that are in the medical profession, and they're right on the front lines of this thing. And I got some messages from them about this song, and those messages are sort of hard to take in, because when you write a song on your couch the same way you wrote them when you were 13, you don't ever think that like someone's going to relate to this, or someone's going to, you know, I have songs that were the first song a baby ever heard and the last song a dying person ever heard, and those things, those stories kind of really stick with me and mean more to me than most other things I've gotten out of this. So but I think this song is hopefully a song of comfort, and it's called Trouble, and I'll play it for you now. The funny story about this song is I'm from nowhere. I was born in Kentucky, and I was raised by Kentucky people, but I was also raised everywhere but Kentucky. Colorado, Ohio, Indiana, Wyoming, Wisconsin. So, you know, I got the best of all worlds: Southern charm, Midwestern nice. But I'm not from a place. But the place that in my mind I'm drawn to is Kentucky, just because of my dad and because of the music, and I just love the scenery, and I like it there. And part of that is the church culture. I've always loved like Southern Baptist, maybe not the like the rules and regulations of the religious stuff, just the spirit of it, you know, the purple robes and the yes we can kind of hallelujah singing. I love that. And a big feature of that, and a lot of like more emotional leaning churches, is the or the amen. I love that. And I secretly dreamed a dream that one day I might get myself an amen or a or a testify. And I lived a long 35 years out in the cold, a barren wasteland, utterly void of mms and amens and witnesses and all that stuff, till I wrote this song. I wrote this song and I was playing it, and I got to the line in the second verse, I believe, where I say, "What if nobody was angry? Would everyone be scared?" And there was this beautiful woman, this older gal in the front row that went, and I almost stopped playing because I was so happy. It happened. And I like the idea that no matter what we believe or think about, or whether or not we pray or whatever, the right song can still take us to church. So, welcome to my church. Be careful with the communion wine because it's high proof. Here we go. I know it's the same world in the night as in the day. These trees are throwing shadows, they're playing with my head. I know there's nothing in the darkness that in the light doesn't remain. Everything looks different, how do I feel the same? Well, maybe the world don't change. Maybe it just gets rearranged, so you could take my name, you could take my place. It was never mine anyway. And I know everything that's counted, it doesn't count at all. It's just the payoff for a whistle and another siren's call. This world is ringing in my ears and my fingers are bare. What if nobody was angry? Would everyone be scared? Maybe the world don't change. Maybe it just gets rearranged, so you could take my name, you could take my place. It was never mine anyway. Yeah, there must be something more than all this pain and the trouble we exchange. Maybe the world don't change. Maybe it just gets rearranged, so you could take my name, you could take my place. It was never mine anyway. Yeah, there must be something more than all this pain and the trouble we exchange, because it's trouble just the same. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. That song was fun. In the studio, it was supposed to just be me on the guitar, and we did it, and then I said, I think I could use a little piano, so I ran out and just played some pretty crappy piano on it, and then one of my brothers was there, and he's a phenomenal cello player, so I was like, dude, play cello on the song, and he just went and did it. And then it needed something, and my wife was there, and I said, Tori, you gotta sing on this. Do you know the words to the song? And she goes, yeah. I said, you gotta sing on the song. And she goes, but I don't. I go, you just gotta sing on the song. So we just hustled her out there, and she did a couple passes, and I kept saying, do it again, because I was producing the record, and I everybody who does stuff needs a few whacks at it, especially if they've never done it before and weren't planning on doing it. And I said, do it again. And at a certain point she said, can you ask nice? And I said, no, I'm a feminist. I said, I don't ask anyone else nice to do it again. Just do it. And now people hear her on the song and it's very good. And they go, why doesn't she sing with you all the time? And I go, well, because I'm hard to work with, I don't I don't know that she would want to sign up for that. And it's that separation of church and state thing. And it makes it fun, the rare occasion that she does sing with me. All right, let's get you guys some recommendations. I went out of my way to pick you guys stuff that might be what you need this week. So, first, this record is called Bloomed by a gentleman named Richard Buckner, aka Buck. Buck is the man. He just writes great songs, and he plays them with this kind of really raw honesty and emotion that I'm really drawn to. And this record in particular, the production of it it's sparse, but it sounds complete, which is a hard target to hit. A lot of times when things sound sparse, that can be a polite way of saying it feels like it's missing something or whatever. But this sounds great. And my memory of this record is I was flying home from Colorado a few years ago, and I have a fear of flying that I developed as I got older somehow. So I'm in this plane, I'm by myself, not by myself. Thank God there was a pilot and and other passengers, but I was with nobody I knew. I'm on this plane and I'm just overcome with anxiety and no one to talk to and just certain that this plane's going to crash. Positive. And for the entirety of the flight, I just listened to this record over and over and over again and sort of crawled inside it in a way and found a lot of comfort, and I hope you will too. If you check out the song Blue and Wonder, it's the first song on the record, it's the first song by him I ever heard, and it's probably my favorite one of his. So check it out. I think you'll dig it. Next, we have Rocky Votolato. This record is called Hospital Handshakes. This is a weird Rocky Votolato record to recommend to people because it doesn't really sound like any of his other records. Typically, he's a dude with an acoustic guitar. We all love those. But on this record, he brought the rock a little bit and has the full band and some noise, and I really like it. It's really good. It reminds me of the band he was in before he was just Rocky Votolato. He was in this band called Waxwing, and they were great too. But I really love this record, and lyrically, I get a lot out of this record. And check this out. Turns out that if you buy records, you get all kind of artwork and lyrics and stuff. And if you buy good records, you'll be glad you have the lyrics. The song I'm going to recommend on here is the last one. It's called The Finish Line. And it's about an old man who's in prison and just decides to leave. And the assumption is that they aren't going to try to find him because he's old. And I like that. I like everything about that. I like that this guy feels like he's done his time and he's just going to go. And I like that maybe they aren't going to chase him. Maybe they're all just going to go like, oh, he's old. He was just a crook. Like, let him go. But in the lyrics, he says, these are not the chosen themes. These are the themes that have chosen me. And I'm writing for my life. It's a terrible thing to be afraid all the time. When you reach the point of a death wish, feeling that anything has got to be better than this, just keep repeating. There's always hope, and no good thing ever dies. The river is carrying each one of us to the finish line. One day we'll be on the other side. Damn. Yeah. The Finish Line by Rocky Votolato. I hope you like it. And then we got a book. Miguel Chen did it again. This book is called The Death of You, a book for anyone who might not live forever. And the comedy there is, that's all of us. We're all gonna die. By Miguel Chen, who famously wrote I Want to Be Well, which means a lot to me. I really love it. On the back it says, if you might someday die, or if you know someone who will. Again, comedy. And you get this little skeleton guy doing yoga next to a cocktail. That's nice. And on the back, he's just chilling. That's nice. I like that. I think about death a lot in a variety of ways, both healthy and not. I think the fact that one day I'll be gone motivates me to make music and do podcasts and that kind of thing. I want to leave something behind. But there's a lot of fear, you know. I'm terrified of something happening to people I love. I'm terrified of not being around for the people I love. In reality, most fear is a fear of death, right? Like, my fear of flying is really my fear of death, just on a plane. But Milady got this for me for my birthday. Dude, she crushed the birthday this year. She got me all stuff that I didn't know existed that I wanted really bad. Like another Miguel Chen book and a record by David Ramirez that I didn't know existed, but I'm thrilled with and I love it. And some hot sauce with CBD in it. And that Deftones IPA was so good. I don't even like IPA. I just like the Deftones that much. And it was really good. And they got me this really fun video game that me and my son have been playing together, which has been the best part of it. But I digress. The point is, you're going to die. We're all going to die. And we should read this book about it and try to not just not fear it, but try to embrace it in a healthy way so that our awareness of death can just be a motivator, or it can just make our food taste better. You know, if you're really dialed into the fact that every taco might be your last taco, you'll really enjoy that taco, I think. So that's that. That's the weird podcast that I'm going to send out into a world that I don't understand and can't predict and don't know what it's going to look like. Hell, by the time this thing comes out, we might just be scavenging in the streets in some kind of nuclear wasteland. I doubt that, though. But it could get rough. It could stay rough. It could get worse. It could get better. We just don't know. So I guess my pledge to you is I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing my best to be here and try to help, try to make things better, and I hope you will too. It's all we can do, really. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves. The only thing I can promise you is that I will see you next week. Hell or high water, I'll see you next week. High water might be tricky because there's a lot of electronics involved in shooting the podcast, but I don't think hell would be that big a problem. I think I'd probably get some cool guests on the podcast if we shot it in hell. A lot of musicians I like are probably down there. All my favorite comedians. And an English teacher I had in 6th grade. She's probably down there. I'd like to show her how successful I am now. All right. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of somebody else. And we will get through even this. I promise you. I'll see you next week. And yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. I like talking to you guys. And I appreciate you listening. I gotta go. Bye.